Tremors 4. Sorry to be a negative Nancy there. Tremors 4 was released in 2004 and is a prequel entry into the franchise. This brings back Michael Gross again as a different character, not exactly Bert Grummer, but he is playing Hiram Grummer this time. And this basically is a period piece western, and that's its biggest problem. Not necessarily, I mean, the film is not fantastic itself, I'm not going to lie. It's actually a pretty boring entry. But aside from that, I'm really not the biggest fan of period pieces or westerns, and this is definitely both. And on top of that, I just really don't like the genre in general. But on top of that, because of it's a period piece, we're basically going back to like the roots of the original film, but with absolutely no epic scale at all that the original film had. I mean, we're dealing with like original graboids the way they were in the first film, kind of. Now, we get a mix of CGI and practical effects in this one, but a lot of practical effects which impressed me because the third film was jam-packed with CGI. This one went back to the practical roots. You get those like tongue worm things that look cool, and you get, of course, the graboids that come out of the ground that look pretty cool as well. And what we have going on is we have Hiram Grummer, or Gummer, the ancestor of Bert Gummer, coming into this town. The town is called Rejection this time, so I like how they play with that, kind of. And Rejection is like this, you know, western old school town with your little shops and all that, and they have a mining industry kind of thing, and this town is known for its mining kind of thing, and there's an accident in the mines because of a graboid, and many people are killed, and then the owner of the mine, named Hiram Gummer, I keep saying Grummer, comes in to solve the problem. He discovers graboids. He's really kind of like not into guns at all and not into violence. He's a very peaceful, well, more than Bert anyway, guy. And that poses a problem because Bert Gummer is like a gun frenzy, monster hunting, you know, doomsday prepper as they call him, and this guy is just so tame. And the graboids are tame. The story is pretty lame and tame, and there's not much going on. I like how they introduced this guy named Black Hand Kelly, and he's played by Billy Drago. I love Billy Drago anytime he pops in. I love him as an actor. He really has this like tough guy persona and like badass persona that I like. But he's just your typical gunslinging Western dude. And he teaches Hiram some things, and then Hiram at one point just basically says fuck it and wants to abandon the whole mine altogether. He's a very selfish guy. He did make me laugh with one line where, first of all, this film is trying to be very reminiscent of Indiana Jones. I like the theme music that they put in the opening credits and the end credits. It definitely has that epic Indiana Jones feel. But they try to like make the film kind of feel Indiana Jones-ish, but it's just too low budget to have that scale. Anyways, there's an Asian family in the movie, and they have a little son who I'm guessing is supposed to be another nod at Indiana Jones. And this kid at one point sees Hiram like eating a dessert and a gingerbread cake or something. And the guy's like, Hiram's like, oh, you want the last piece of cake? Go fetch me brandy from my suitcase or something like that. So the kid goes, and then he eats the last piece of the cake, and when the kid comes back, he's like, I thought you were saving me that cake. And he's like, he says, anyone can be taken advantage of, and if you can, do. So he's a selfish prick, and that made me laugh, just the way he delivered that line. But it's funny because the kid turns it around on him at one point, because there's this scene where a bike needs to be fixed, and the kid's able to fix it, but won't give it to him, or won't basically let him go without paying him. And he's like, if you can take advantage of somebody, do. So I liked how he turned it around on him. But other than that, like, the film was very lackluster. I basically mentioned everything that I liked about it. The finale ends with Hiram, is it Hiram? I'm pronouncing it Hiram anyway. Mr. Gummer, whatever. He builds himself a Gatling gun, and he like gets into guns, and at the end of the movie he's just going gun frenzy with this Gatling gun, which is pretty cool. Practical effects are good. Fu Yen is the kid's name, by the way. And Kelly's a cool looking character with his gunslinging ways, and he's not given enough to do with, but he's fine. And overall, it's just it's too boring of a film, and in itself, and then me being not a fan of westerns or period pieces, it just really didn't work for me. It felt like a really boring interlude in the Tremors franchise, and I looked it up, and I know that the next movies aren't period pieces, so thank God on that. We're getting back to Tremors films, but yeah, there's not enough happen in this movie for me to have much to talk about at all, except like I said, for everything that I mentioned already. Even, Michael Gross coming back doesn't do anything because he's just playing an old fashioned, greedy town owner and mine owner in comparison to his character of Burt Grummer. It's just too different and too tame. And that's what this film is. It's tame, and it's, in my opinion, completely unnecessary because you don't need a prequel to like where the graboids came from, unless there's like this epic amazing reveal on where they came about. Like they came from a mine, and all the shooting, like they use powder kegs, like they create powder kegs and use those as weapons against the graboids. That's cool. Like they use technology and or technology things that they would use in the 1800s, but because of that, I just found it boring. But I'm not going to repeat myself too much. I really don't have too many positives for this one, so it's just a boring interlude to me, and waiting on the next one's like crazy. Subscribe to Morgan Film Fan if you like to listen to my voice, or if you like my film reviews. I'll be back with more soon, so stay tuned for those. Check out what's on the channel already. Stay tuned for what's coming, including more Tremors reviews. Until next time, have a good one. Take care and cheers.